Syncwire sent me this phone holder, and I'm unpacking it here. And it's a big magnet. So it comes with a wet wipe to prepare the surface. It comes with a warranty policy, and it comes with your user manual. So this is magnetic. In case your phone doesn't have a magnet on the back, clean the target area with alcohol pad and leave it for 5 hours. And this actually looks pretty nice. It looks pretty solid. It's nice, made out of metal. So it's got a nice firm, this pivots. It's got a nice resistance to it. So it's going to stay where I put it. It's going to hold up even a heavy phone. Clean the target area with alcohol pad, leave for 5 hours at least after pasting before use. All right. So this is going to be pasted to my dash somewhere. This part is for my phone. If you've got an iPhone that has a magnet on the back, then it will stick to the magnet. If you don't have a phone with the magnet on it, then you would glue this onto your phone. That would allow you to stick to this, which is a good size, strong magnet. I mean, I can't pull that off very easily, so that's a good stick. So the key is where do I want this sticking? And you've got 3 pivots, so you've got a pivot at the base, and then you've got the 2 other pivots. And this has got to stick good because this is a really stiff pivot down here, and you don't want to pull that off. So you've got to determine, where do you want this? Where would my phone sit? How would that look? But that's a good hold right there. That's not going to come off too easily. The question is, do I want it right there, or how do I want this? So this does not have any pivots on it, so it doesn't pivot this way at all. So I'm really kind of stuck with this being in a particular side here. Now, do I want it angled towards me? So this is going to be a decision you have to make, because there's no pivot options in here at all, this way or that way. So we're going to have to determine, where do I want this? Maybe I want it over on the left side of my dash, so it's out of my way. I don't know if I want it blocking my view here. Do I want it over further? And if so, I can't put it this way. It's going to have to angle this way, in which case I'm going to be like that, right? And do I want that up there? I could also put that down here somewhere. It's possible that I could put it possibly right in here, which again would block my controls. So if I'm going to use this, I wish this had a pivoting mechanism. So if I put it here, I could pivot it either way. However, I'm going to have to decide which way, where I want to put this. And once you glue this down, it's going to be glued down pretty good, because they don't want this falling off. So you have to make sure that where you put it is, you're going to have to be happy with it. So I think I've decided that I want to put it just off to the side here. This is going to be minimal evasive for me, and I can do that. It will block my vent a little bit. It will block my emergency flasher, but I like it better than up here on my dash, blocking my view. So I'd rather have it something like this, I believe. And I can tip it in a little bit like that to me, so I can see that. So again, another pivot this way, up and down, would be a little handier, but I'm going to have to take and mark this spot here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clean this area first. I'm actually using my own alcohol. It's actually a denatured alcohol, and we can see that we've got some dirt on that. So let's come over and try that some more. The cleaner I get this, the better it will stick. There's a little bit more dirt there. Let's turn the paper towel inside out. It's coming off pretty clean. Okay. I'm going to have to be careful with this, because I want to be able to rub this off later. This is just a marking pen, and I've got to get my angle. Because I'm putting it at an odd space, and I don't want it up like this. I want it more down like this. So I have to make sure that I got my angle correct. I just need some little line mark here. Something light enough that I can clean off later. And just a little mark there. Something that gives me a sense of that angle. So if I take my phone off and once again lay this right there, I can eyeball that. Excellent. Let's go ahead and use the wet wipe they give me. Actually gave me two. Don't think I'm going to need one. Let's go ahead and read the instructions. Make sure we do this correctly. So make sure your hands are free and clean. Remove all paper from mag ring. Paste the magnetic ring to the center of the area of the back of your phone. Okay, we're not dealing with that. Okay, how to install the holder. So on the mag holder in the car, on the desk, wipe your target area with the alcohol pad, then wait until it is dry completely, 15 seconds. Remove the film from the holder base, affix it firmly, pressing it onto the desired area for 10 seconds and allowing it to set for 5 hours to strengthen the attachment. Now the mag folder phone is fixed securely. So it's simple as that. So let's come over and get the alcohol wet wipe. Although I did use my own alcohol, we want to use what they gave me. So if it doesn't work, we can't be blamed on not using what they gave me. So I just want to make sure I don't wipe off my yellow marker. So let's get in here, clean that area where it's going to stick. No dirt came off on that. Just going to go ahead and take off this protective film right here. So it's not problematic later. Almost dry. Another second. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this off right here. Do not touch this with your fingers. Do not. That will affect it. And come over and line this up real carefully. Getting my angle right. Getting my location right. It's about as good as we're going to get it. Go ahead and press firmly. I believe it said 10 seconds. So should we do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that was well more than 10 seconds. So we're going to leave that for 5 hours. Then we're going to see how well it stays to the dash. And we'll finish this review later. And because I have an iPhone that's a mag phone, I do not need to put the magnetic ring on the back of my phone. But if you have an older phone that doesn't have magnetics, then you got to put this on your phone so that it will stick to the holder. It's been several days since I fastened this to my dash. Now let's see how well it works. I correctly followed the instructions to fasten this to my dash. I've located it where I want. And then I can simply place my phone here, and that works really well, and I can pivot this out. But I really want to know is how well is this going to stick to my dash? Because these hinges are pretty stiff, which they have to be, but can I easily take and move this out of my way? And one of the things I can see is I can see the dash fluctuating here a little bit as it's pulling out. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. So if you watch right here, you'll see how that's pulling away a bit. So that's a bit concerning. But if I did want to move this out of the way, I'm fearful that's going to rip right off the dash. And this hinge is pretty stiff. So I would think I would need to put my finger on that if I wanted to make that adjustment and move that out of the way in that fashion. And if it's in this fashion and I want to lift it out, see how it's pulling out on the dash? I'm really worried about that. I don't know how well that's going to work. It is not pulling off, but it's really stressing this out. So unless I'm going to hold my finger on there, that's a little bit of a concern for me. Meaning that when I'm driving, I don't want to have to be maneuvering this and putting my finger on here to change the adjustments of this stand. So it's not a bad tool, but it is a little bit tricky. You're going to want to set it up before you go driving. And if you're going to fold it away, you're going to want to do this also not while driving. I'm just kind of worried that that's just going to fall off or rip out that dash pad right there. So for now, it is fastened. I am going to set it how I like it. Again, notice I'm holding this against my pad here, and I'm going to try to set this up and determine what I like. And if I need it to be pivoted in a little bit, again, I'm going to hold it against the dash and make my adjustments. I'm going to check it with my phone, determine if I like that. If I need it to pivot out a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to get it just like I like it. And then I'll probably leave it like that unless I need to move it because of this ventilation right here. So that is my review. It's a sturdy device, but I do worry about it pulling my pad off of my dash. And I also have made this little mark right there that if you remember when I set this up. So I'm going to use some rubbing alcohol on a paper towel right here. And I'm just going to come over here and clean that marker off that I put in there so you can't see it anymore.